Okay. It is now 3:02. I call the regular meeting of the Balcones Heights Economic Development Corporation to order. We have one, two, three, four members present. A quorum is seated and we may conduct business. Let's see here. So I guess we start with I get a lot of feedback. I have it on too loud or something? Let me try what does that do? Check 1, 2. Let me just stand away from it. How's that? Public comment period. Do we have anybody signed up? Okay, we'll jettison that. Presentations? None. Okay, corporation business items, consent agenda. Approval of the minutes for the regular meeting held on April 10th, 2025. Do the members have the minutes? There's a motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second? Oh, I'm sorry. What do I do? How do I unmute? Are they muted still? Try it now. I was trying to
check. There we go.
Sorry about that. There's a motion on the floor to accept the minutes. Is there a second? Second to.
Second the motion.
Okay, let's take a roll. Let's see. Ms. Vina, how do you vote to approve the minutes?
Yay.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yay.
Mr. Jacob?
Yay.
Is Ms. Slay online? Okay. And I vote in favor, so the motion carries. It's a finance, okay. We also have to approve the finance report. The minutes of finance report are attached. I'll entertain. If there are any questions, otherwise I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the finance report.
Recognize?
Yes.
I so move.
Okay, Mr. Rodriguez. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We'll call the vote. Sure, absolutely.
Mr. Chairman, if I may be recognized.
Absolutely.
On the training, the 2,500, I'm just curious. Training and travel, what is that applicable to? Just out of curiosity. I've seen this, constantly in the reports. Just
Mayor, if I may,
Yes, please.
so what was budgeted there was $5,000 for the board in case any training or travel events came up. Say you wanted to go visit a mall in Austin or whatever. I mean,
Okay.
there was some money in the budget for that.
great. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes, go ahead.
On the professional services, what was the intent on, it's quite low, but what was the intent on that one?
Yes, ma'am. And that was more for the bank fees, for the charges that come with paying the loan. They're minor, but there are some. And so that's separated out from the loan itself and put under professional services.
So bank fees come under the category of professional services? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am. Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions? Okay, so there was a second. So I will call for the vote. Mr. Rodriguez,
Okay.
Ms. Vina,
Yay.
Mr. Jacob,
Yay.
and I vote yay. So the finance report is approved. Updates.
Mr. Chairman, we're
Yes.
in agenda item number 2.
Oh, sorry, discussion and possible action. Approval for Falcon loan of $206,830, which represents 65% of the estimated cost of the new single escalator. This is a 5-year loan term, prime +1, and subject to final loan committee approval.
That's
Do you have-
Mr. Sid Weiser.
Okay. Sid.
This is a request for the board to approve a loan for an escalator to replace an obsolete 60-year-old Otis escalator that currently exists. We've taken out 2 escalators. We have 2 in the food court that are under repair. We met with them today and they tell us they'll be operational within the next 30 days. But this would give us an escalator at the south end of the property, which is sorely needed for access at that end of the property. The bank has given us a verbal, subject to the board's approval. They'll take it to the loan committee. We have the capital to make the down payment of 35% and would appeal to the board for approval.
And so the 65%, the rest is coming from where, Mr. Weiss?
65% would be coming from Falcon Bank.
And the other 35%?
From our capital reserve accounts.
Sure of that. I don't, these, it looks like it, you'd presented an estimate at my first meeting, I remember, and I'd asked what sort of warranty or service agreement came with the escalator. Did we ever get any?
I don't have specifics, Denise, will you follow up on that? But it's typically a 1-year parts and materials, but a new escalator shouldn't be an issue, but we'll get specifics on that.
Okay. Any other questions?
May
That
Mr.
before,
Chairman be recognized? Oh, go ahead, Mrs. Fine.
are those specifics that you'll find before you sign the contract?
I'm sorry.
You'll get that information before you sign the contract?
We can, yes, absolutely. And we can pass it on to the chairman.
If I may, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely.
Mr. Weiss, when you say it's on the south end, where more or less is that?
Or-
What's the business that's close by? Where is it? When you say south end, is that where the old ones used to be at that you took down? That we
No,
completely?
it's existing. It's there. Berth Douglas is to the far end.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
down at that end where A18 is.
Got it. I couldn't visualize it, but now I was just curious where it was at. Okay, that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion if we're going to vote on the approval.
Yeah, I'll motion to approve.
Is there a second? Okay. Let's call the vote. Mr. Jacobs, Mr. Jacob,
Yay.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yay.
Ms. Vina,
Yay.
and I vote to approve as well.
Thank you.
The motion carries. Yeah. Item 3, update, discussion, possible action, Wonderland of the Americas, Sid Weiss, Managing Partner, Denise Bush, General Manager. Discussion regarding trailer park, status of discussion with Bear County for A18, receipt of funds from TK Elevator for elevator deposit.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to reserve comments of these items till the executive session.
Okay. Is there any, do you have, is there anything else on this item that you care to discuss though? Maybe not those bulleted or
Yes, there's two things I can give you as an update. One, we had a senior fiesta last weekend with a huge turnout. I think everybody had a good time and it was one of our major events. And then we have coming up this coming weekend, an Asian food festival that draws thousands of people and you should come out to see the crowd. It's really a big thing. And then in June, we have a car show for Father's Day that several hundred cars and a lot of activity, and that's on the exterior. But there's a lot going on at Wonderland as usual.
Okay.
I'll cover the other items though in executive session.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Weiss. All right. Item 4, discussion of city's economic development projects. Current development projects, Andy Jocelyn, in progress projects, vacant lots / buildings, capital improvements, miscellaneous projects, TERS, process update.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In your packets, as always on the monthly report are the items that are occurring within our community, projects in progress, and it's stated on the literature itself. Anything in purple or blue denotes the new addition to the report. I can't tell what color that is. Blue, thank you. 701 West IH-10, the PUD. It's the business park area, sewer tie-in scheduled this week. Building 1 of 4 projected for certificates of occupancy by June. Perimeter gate installation in progress. I was telling the staff, this is a very good thing for the city that we get this kicked off for as soon as possible for economic development purposes. So hats off to the development department for continuing the progress on that. New MRI expansion renovation at Methodist Texan Hospital. General contractor continues to make progress. Inspections being requested. Building finals for next week. Pre-admissions testing suite renovation. Revised plans approved. Trades are in the process of securing permits. Cardiology outpatient clinic, certificate of occupancy applied for, awaiting inspection request. The Target Ultra renovations, the permit for the renovations was canceled until further notice. Do we have any more details on that? That's all that we received, okay? Scooters Coffee Shop, 4443 Fredericksburg Road, certificates of occupancy applied for, awaiting inspection request. New certificates of occupancy, K, Bowles, and Rahman, 4522 Fredericksburg Road, Suite A69. Vacant lots and buildings, we still have the ones that were listed. In addition, we keep coming back to the 4519 Fredericksburg Road, former Wendy's. 2,956 square feet building with drive-through, 33,106 square feet of land. And then unfortunately on 4205 Fredericksburg Road closed for 2 weeks and owners have been unreachable. We initiated trying to contact the owners and trying to assist them in any way possible, marketing the establishment, but we did make contact with them a couple of times, but unfortunately we
Which business is that?
Iguanas.
Burrito place.
Yes, sir. So we already knew that business had been slow in that area. We were trying to do what we could, but unfortunately, this is where we're at, and we still haven't been able to make contact with the ownership to find out what their plans are. Residential, it's been the same. Capital improvement projects, our Crestview Phase 2, which is a road project. First progress meeting took place on April 10, 2025. Sewer main and sewer laterals have been installed. Subgrade cutting is in the progress. This week, R.L. Jones will continue subgrade cutting, place geogrid, and lay 300 tons of A2 base material. The weather has slowed the project down a little bit, but they continue to forge forward. Once we get done with Phase 2, we have received approval for Phase 3 to start, correct? Yes, okay. So that's good infrastructure work within our community. we look at the Hillcrest Road project, which is going to be one of our major projects right here that has been in the progress, currently in design phase, 60% complete, final design due March 2025, project completion anticipated FY 2027. Interlocal agreement between the city and SAWS currently is in review. 60% of DDRT meeting, 60% design submitted March 13, 2025. So this is a real big project for our community. I know the development department continues to keep tabs on that so that we can be prepared as we move forward. That's going to be a financial impact on our city. So we've got to make sure that we are cognizant of that so that we can plan accordingly. Residential rental property inspection program inspections are currently being conducted by code and fire departments and are about 25% complete for the 2025 year. And then we had two very good meetings last week with Judy McBride, 200 Crossroads Boulevard, 110 North Crossroads, and 204 Crossroads, which is right by the hospital area in regards to some development there, possible development. And then 2309 Fredericksburg Road. And John, I can't pronounce his last name, but we've met with him and we met with him today. In addition to that, that is the trailer park area. And we are trying to see what we can do with that to spur development within our community. So the TERS process update. I'm going to hand you what we've got so far. I'm going to ask Nick to step up here with me, please. Nick is one of our city team members that has been working with me with the approval of his supervisor. When we started the TERS project, I went ahead and formed a collaboration of city team members to assist me with this. This is going to be a pretty big project that we're undertaking. Floyd Messick, Finance Director, of course, is always involved. Rose Anderson, our Community Development Manager. Nick Ibarwe, he's our Community Development, got a degree in planning, so he's part of our group there. And Thomas Maruquin is our Fire Chief. I wanted to include him. He's got aspirations of moving forward in municipal government, so he's been included and has been very instrumental. We also have worked with the EDC Chair, Mr. Enriquez, in regards to what we're doing right now. I got approval from the City Council to engage professionals to assist us with this, and MuniCap Incorporated is a public finance group that put this timeline. It's the scope of information that they're requesting that the staff is gathering. The third page shows a timeline that we are trying to adhere to so that we can move this project forward. All these documents, all this legwork that we're doing, we need to have to them by May 23rd, 2025, so that they can start putting together the project. Nick has done a lot of the mapping for us of the area we'd like to cover, and we continue to talks on that. Chair Enriquez did some legwork on some of the information that was requested, and that's included in there. So, Nick, can you just give them a quick brief of where we are and what our plans are and how you're keeping tabs on all this?
Sure. So, Nick Ibargüe, it's nice to meet all of you. Currently, we have had a couple meetings regarding the TERS project here. Our most recent one, we discussed our future vision for the city and what the TERS is going to look like, what the culture and the blueprint for the city we want to kind of plan for. The discussion mainly revolved around the parcels that we're going to look around, which would include the mall. I'm sorry, I don't have a map to present to you. A couple properties around the mall, including Via, quite a few of those parking lots that are vacant currently. The biggest discussion that we're having is whether to include some of those that are along Fredericksburg Road on this side of it, not on the mall side. So that's currently where we're at. We're working with Floyd as far as the finances go, and Rose with any grants that we may be able to kind of secure along with that. Any questions that I can answer?
Go ahead.
I just, on a comment on the VIA lots, you may want, there's a difference in vacant and you may want to not classify them as vacant because
Yeah, that was
They
a
are
misuse on my
permitted
end.
lot.
Sorry. Yeah. So not a vacant, but a underused lot, I guess I would redefine as.
yeah, I mean, they're used for park and ride events too. So at those times, they're not underutilized, but
Sure. No, I
you
understand.
know.
No, I appreciate the clarification.
Okay, we recognize. Just real quick, I have a couple of questions regarding this. On the 500 residential units over 10 years, realistically, Mr. Chairman, is there a way we can cut that time frame down to a shorter time frame, or is that going to be based upon the investor input or component?
Yeah, I mean, it's largely aspirational at this point. I mean, if you have to sort of look at, I think, what other communities have been able to accomplish in similar timeframes. Obviously, Balcones Heights wouldn't have the wherewithal to do all of this on its own. It would have to take buy-in from the county, other entities, so rather, I think the thinking at this point, and certainly from our meeting, was that dream no small dream, just
Dream big.
yeah, why not?
Okay.
And I think 500 would be when you see the map, you'll see that that's probably the outer band of that, actually.
Okay. And in conjunction with that, my second question would be on the maps. Do we have the map that encompasses the entire boundary lines of our city? Or did you specifically specify?
There's
Right.
parcels that we're identifying as part of the zone. So in our, I guess, initial meeting with Clay, we discussed what an appropriate size would be. And so we're trying to identify the right parcels and not to enlarge it too much where we can't reinvest the appropriate resources.
Is there a way you can tell me what metrics you use to determine those boundary lines?
Primarily, it's open discussion right now on what the needs are for the city. So myself and our team, we reference the City Plan 2040 to see what our needs are economically to assess those parcels and zones.
It's not really definitive yet.
No.
Okay. So I would like to see that we should consider encompassing all jurisdictional boundaries of our city.
It is a future thought that we can apply multiple
Feasible,
TERs in the
right.
future, but not as all one single TERS zone.
Yes, one where encompass all boundary lines of our city. In other words, the entire 0.7 square mile radius of our city that we should encompass. At any given time, we can always exclude, correct, Mr. Chairman?
Well, Mayor, I think
Or would it be-
we probably need to, yeah, Clay's not, but there's
Okay.
it should be a very intentional and very targeted.
Good, okay,
You got residential here, you got homes and
Right.
stuff, and
so we have to
so,
consider all
yeah,
that.
we probably we got to get a little
Okay,
oriented on
And that
how
answers
that
my
the TERS
question.
and the TIF are interrelated and how they work.
yeah,
Um,
okay. And then the other question I have on the funding mechanisms. I don't see anything here under trans-oriented development. That should be a component we should be looking at as well. Maybe we should put that in there or no?
You-
Where is it? I didn't see it. I'm sorry. Where at, madam? Third page.
Todd
Let me look. Under-
is
Okay,
transit-oriented.
yeah, I missed it. Okay. Thank you for bringing that to me because I missed it. Okay. Yeah, because that's an important component, I think, with your VIA that we can utilize to increase rideship and all that. Perfect. Okay, great. Then I'm good with everything else.
One of the things and I'll refer to you as mayor, even though you're on the board, all of this is going to be taken back to city council before we move on anything. One of the biggest things that from past experience, once you create a TERS, the issue is it doesn't have to maintain that boundary. I think it's the initial target that we want to target, and like my team member here stated, you can create more than one TERS as we move forward. It's easier to start small and grab an area, and then we can create if that's successful and we have a proven track record, we can create others in different areas. So, but everything that we're going to do is currently a lot of legwork that the team has done an outstanding job with. And we will make sure that EDC is heavily involved once we get to some documents that are going to be of substance, which the Muni Cap Incorporated is going to put together for us. We just wanted to make sure that we gave you an update to let you know that it's been constant meetings with everybody's input, and we keep the EDC chair to avoid any open meetings violations. That way he can help us out, and then we can bring it back to you as we move forward. So
Basically a baseline.
yes, sir.
Good.
And
Staff.
it's been a good project for the team to work on. They're doing their part. It's a great amount of work in addition to what they have to do on a daily basis. So we appreciate you, Floyd. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I may continue, and please excuse me if I have all these questions, but we only have one stab at it sometimes to discuss these things in the meeting. So I try to gather as much info that I can so I can process it. So please bear with me, my colleagues. I'm sorry, I don't mean to overburden everybody with quick.
We don't take it as that. We take it as you are giving these young people right here the opportunity to expand their horizon and their intent for the future. So we appreciate all those questions so that they know what y'all are looking at, what we need to focus on, and how he can better himself.
So
So
if I
it's
may
great.
humbly ask, on the Target Ultra renovations, what renovations is Target undertaking? Just out of curiosity. Do we know? Anybody can answer that?
Can you repeat it one more time?
What renovations is Target undertaking?
They were planning on doing Ulta renovations, so currently there's not an Ulta in Target. Many Targets have a Ulta specific area, a beauty care area. So they were going to renovate the interior of the store to include that, and they rescinded the project.
Do we know what the dollar amount of that is so that we know what projected revenues may be?
They did not give a dollar amount to my understanding.
Yeah,
They
not-
did submit plans for the project. The plans were approved and then it was rescinded after that.
You mentioned the scooter, so I know where that's at. The cables right there at 4522. And then, so on the Norma's Restaurant, mostly all of the pads that we have, if we can, and I'm sure we can take this up with council, I think we're going to have a meeting soon between staff and myself as the mayor, but we really, really need to, because it really helps us be able to sell our city. And in the process of the rebranding that we're going to be taking, myself and this potentially news council that will be taking a seat, we're going to be taking a very aggressive approach into the rebranding of our city. So it's imperative that staff maintain these properties like Norma's. I do, and to your credit, Rose, I've seen that you've gotten, you're staying a little bit on top of that above all your other duties, and that's great. But if we can just use a little bit more effort to really stay on top of it and don't let it grow out of hand and trash, because we're starting to get some more vagrants in there and other places that are seeing these sewer places, like the drainage places that are around residential communities. They're homeless people that are going in there, and it's alarming the residents. And so what we need to do to rebrand our city is to make sure we stay on top of that. And I know you're shorthanded right now because you don't have the code, to your credit. So, but help is on the way. We're going to take that on and we're going to tackle that. But just right now, if you can, put the pressure on those owners and just say, look, it'll help us lease or sell your property better if you maintain it on a consistent basis, not where we have to be calling you to do it. You should be on top of it. And, you know, if we can do that, I think we've come to the point where we're being a little too gentle. Now we have to be a little bit more forceful and say, please come in compliance, because otherwise we're going to come with some fines or some kind of.
No, I understand. Yeah, no, I appreciate the comment. We as a team try to be proactive in
Yeah.
it. Unfortunately, you know, we are limited on our resources currently, but we do try to be proactive about it. And we do want to, you know, better the image of the
That'd be
city.
great.
So,
See, that's going to be a key component when we're dealing with investors and this board starts considering all these possible offers or possible collaborations, then we can say, hey, look at our city. It's cleaned up, looking good. We're on the road to that rehabilitation of our inner city and our external rehabilitation. So that'll be key for par for the course.
absolutely.
Okay, thank you, sir, very much. Thank you for allowing me to ask those questions. And
Go ahead, Mr.
go ahead, Ms.
Oh, no, no. If you're.
Oh,
I
just
think
one
we-
more.
But I had some
The
questions.
empty lot on the townhomes. We're looking at a plan unit development zoning that he's looking at. Has he indicated what exactly under the PUD designation he's wanting to now change to his development plans? The one right here on down the street on Gentleman? Okay, so, but he wants the PUD designation? Okay, so he's not even interested in the PUD anymore. Okay, all right. And then the Wendy's obviously just went out. So we're gonna have to maintain that building as well, make sure they keep it clean. And the 4205 Fredericksburg Road, what is that business? I didn't catch that. Which location is that? 4205? It's been closed for 2 weeks. Owner is unreachable.
burrito.
The iguanas, sir.
Iguanas. Okay, yeah, we saw that.
Mhm.
We were seeing them kind of hang on. Later, what we can do as an economic development corporation is maybe we can extend an arm and find out how we can help them when they're struggling already before they go under. See what we can do to reach out to them to keep them moving into business and maybe give them a helping hand if we have those tools available.
And that's correct.
Yeah.
That'll be
Kind
our
of
focus.
support the local businesses from going under
Yes, sir.
before they go under.
Mhm, mhm.
So thank you for your patience. Humbly, thank you very much.
I had just had a couple of questions or comments. Going back to the CF, the capital improvement projects on number 3 Hillcrest. It says that the final design is due March 2025. Is that an old note or has that been updated? Okay, because then on the second bullet, what the 60% design was submitted March 13th, so.
Yeah, so what happened is that SAWS decided to do an interlocal agreement with us to do the utilities underneath because they weren't agreeing to that at the beginning. So that kind of delayed the final design from our engineers end to submit that.
Yeah, I'm just saying that.
That was a data error, I'm sorry.
Just
Mhm.
the next month.
Yes,
Update that.
I'll update
All
it.
right, thank you.
Thank
And then
you.
On the TERS, I just had a couple inquiries. Number 2, proposed development plan. On the 500 residential units, you've got 300 to 400 units at the mall. And then 100 to 200 at the VIA site. And then on the land use, on the next page on the quantity, you've got 500 units, 300 to 400 at Waterland footprint and 100 to 200 via area. Is there a difference between the footprint note and at the mall and the via site versus via area?
I think the thinking there is the parcels, the via parcels being the via site,
Right.
and the footprint being the whole Wonderland
The mall.
mall.
Okay, and then the
and,
via area is,
And same, I think they're synonymous, via area and via, what's it called on the other page? Via
well, one's called via site. and-
site.
Which makes sense, and
Yeah.
then the via area. Is that also the
That-
same?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
just keep
that's my
consistent.
recollection.
Yeah, keep consistent if that's
Sure.
the same.
that's
And then
correct.
on the proposed average pricing on residential, you've got 200K per unit. If construction costs, say, are 300 to 400,000 a unit, would the expected incremental revenue of the 5 million, would that be used to subsidize the residential?
So these are projections based on typologies, and s- without knowing, what, we have to fill something in at the end of the day, right? And so
So with construction, multifamily, multi-story construction costs being
prohibitively
closer to 3 to
expensive,
400 a
yeah,
unit.
then
And this
the
is a great.
calculus would change completely.
Yeah,
Yes.
and so if indeed you're targeting workforce and you want to keep it at 200 or below, that subsidy really needs to be, managed on the outset.
Yeah,
As-
I mean, the thinking here is that the funding, the TIF funding that draws this, and not just TIF funding, but, all the other, there's other funding mechanisms here, public-private partnership, federal, state grant, municipal bound, wherever the funding is would lessen, because you can lower the cost by providing the infrastructure that's necessary, the roads, and offsetting those costs, and thereby lowering. But again, this is based on the numbers as we stand here on May the, what are we, 9th, 8th of 2025. I mean, we those numbers are bound to go up. I doubt seriously they'll go down. But the idea being that the vast majority of the units here are multifamily, like, so.
So one way to reduce that would be which would be in line with the vision of the city plan, is if you reduced that $25,000 to $40,000 per parking space, to house a car instead of
Sure.
people, then that reduces it greatly.
Well, the TOD, transit-oriented development,
Right.
is like there's increasingly a
win-win,
body
yeah.
of knowledge out there that says that when folks don't have to have a car and pay insurance and gas and everything else, that, they're not rent burdened as much, and therefore,
Maybe
they
that's an
can.
article for another newsletter, the mayor. All right, thank you so much.
Very good questions, and we appreciate that. I know my staff is listening in and taking notes, whether they be mental notes at this time, or Nick is very good about remembering a lot of things that we're working on. At the direction of the mayor and the EDC chair, we are setting up and continuing talks with the county commissioner in this area, the county judge. And then, ma'am, we're going to reach out to you to assist us with the VIA and trying to get some meetings, so that once we get to a point that, we've got a substance in hand, we can sit with everyone and say, this is our plan and this is what we'd like to do. And by the way, we'd like for you to be partners with us.
And I just want to compliment you, Andy, and your whole staff on this, because obviously, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? But somebody's got to start, and you've started it. And that's often the most important part, is just to get started. I'm sure that we'll have to go back and change things and refine it and improve it. But at the point that we begin to socialize these ideas and these projects, we'll be much further down the road. And I appreciate all the questions and the feedback, because it becomes very important, so that we were able to triangulate and figure out or not all, but many of the issues ahead of time, because these questions are going to get asked, like, at some point.
We thank the mayor, we thank the Councilman Burton and the audience and the entire council for directing us to move this way forward. And I know Floyd said, finally, we're going to do something, economic development wise. So we appreciate you.
Was any citizen input on this, or was it? I don't know if there was anybody signed up.
If I may,
Yes.
I'd also like to recognize Mr. Eddie Garcia, who's on the planning and zoning. He's going to be very instrumental in leading charge on making things more efficient, and easier to, again, make the process of when we have to look at these plans and has to come before his board. So he has committed himself to making sure he works with his colleagues on the BNC to help us facilitate a more efficient process. So, Mr. Garcia, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so that was TERS update, executive session, right? So discussions, yes. Oh, okay, yes, of course. Jimmy Hernandez as well as, good, thank you. All right, so we have a discussion pursuant to section 551.072, deliberation regarding real property of the Texas Government Code regarding Wonderland of the Americas. A governmental body may conduct a closed meeting to deliberate the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. Status of discussion with Starbucks for Jack in the Box. So let me read this. It is now 3:43. We move into executive session. The recording secretary will pause the recording. It is now 4:34 p.m. We are back in open session. We don't have any action. Executive Director, provide any further updates?
No, sir, I think we covered pretty much everything.
Board members, any topics or presenters or business to be added in the future? Hearing nothing, I'll entertain them. Okay, sorry.
I don't know how to phrase this. Something to do with just a general overview, tying into the last couple meetings on where we are in regards to our, agreement and the, I know we talked about different variations of potential sale, all this, where we are, kind of a status report on our obligations, over the next year, so we can make sure that we're prepared.
Like a timeline of,
Yeah,
or
thank you.
milestones or something that we want to
Yes,
be cognizant of,
yes.
maybe something like that.
In terms of
Andy?
any kind of financial obligations or programmatic obligations. Maybe an outline.
No problem.
Any announcements from board or staff? Absolutely.
We have 3 new members on the council: Jimmy Hernandez, Tracy Ebersol, and Molly Weaver. All of them have financial experience. And so they're eager to get to work. Tomorrow, they're going to get sworn in. You're invited at 6 p.m. It'll be a short agenda. We just got the swearing in, oath of office, certificate of election, and we'll have a small reception that's going to be catered. So please come meet them, and you get to meet them. Everybody's invited.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
To adjourn.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Meeting adjourned. Sorry, the time is 4:36.